Good evening and welcome to another episode of Curl Talk. I am your host, Gail Bruni, and I am the founder, CEO of Heal and Go, which is an all natural hair and skincare company. We provide all plant based ingredients in our products and for hair care and skincare needs. So, tonight we're talking about everything that leads to healthy hair. And the foundation for healthy, thriving curls is your scalp care. So, tonight we're going to talk about scalp, everything that helps a thriving, healthy scalp to produce good hair and everything that may deter that from happening. So, we're going to talk about how to keep it healthy and happy. So, I know scalp issues is a big deal for a lot of people that are meeting at markets and pop ups. A lot of people start talking about thinning hair, scalp itchiness. And I think if we take time to think about what happens to our scalp, it's going to help us actually know how to mitigate those issues. So, just like the rest of your skin, your scalp needs DLC. It's just another part of your skin. And a healthy scalp means healthy environment for your hair to grow. So when your scalp is irritated, it can it can really be frustrating to you. So we have to have a balanced scalp. We have to have a scalp that's free of irritation. A scalp that can produce natural oils that your hair needs to stay hydrated and nourished. And on the other hand, having the opposite of that, unhealthy scalp can lead to a number of issues. So some of them are dryness, flakiness, and even hair loss. Now, if you're watching this, can you just put your comments in the chat? Let me know if there's any issues that you're having with scalp. Let me know how you're working around those. Go ahead and put those in the comments, and we'll talk about them as I go along. So I'm going to go first and tell you the different scalp types. So just like your hair has different textures, your scalp can also vary. So some common scalp types would be a dry scalp, an oily scalp, or a balanced scalp. So a dry scalp speaks for itself. You will experience flakiness, you'll experience itching, and you might have you just have a dry scalp, right? That will start being itchy, being irritable, and it could lead to other issues, which I'm going to go through. An oily scalp produces excess sebum, which can lead to greasy hair and clogged follicles. So if you feel like your hair is very oily, you know how you can feel like your face, you have oily skin on your face? You could feel the same with an oily scalp. You would feel your hair is forever greasy, even if you just washed it a few days ago and you can still feel the grease on it, then you know you have oily scalp. A balanced scalp is like the holy grail. It produces just the right amount and it keeps your hair healthy. So give me a 1 if you have dry scalp, a 2 if you have oily scalp, and 3 if you have balanced scalp. So put those in your comments. I don't know, I'm having some issues here. Something's coming up on my screen that's not supposed to be there. Okay. So put them in the comments. Hi, Barbara. Thanks for joining us. You have 3. You have a balanced scalp. Woohoo. That's great. That means you have the right amount of sebum being produced and your hair should be healthy. You should see hair growth going on and you should not have any irritations. Wonderful. Now, if you have oily scalp, so dry scalp, you would not need to, and it's important to know what type of scalp you have. Because if you have dry scalp, you know that shampooing should not be something you do all the time because shampoo is going to dry it out. So then you should co-wash or you should use a hair mask, something that's less drying to your scalp and your hair strands. If you have oily scalp, you may need to use shampoo because you're going to have a lot of buildup on the scalp, on the surface of the scalp that you need to take off. And if you have a balanced scalp, you can go either way. I will say I will always lean to co-washing, but if a balanced scalp, you can do shampooing if you want as well, because you don't have the issue of the oily scalp where you have the sebum sitting on the scalp and not going anywhere. That leads to clogged follicles, and this is where you're gonna have hair loss or hair not growing properly because the follicles are clogged and they're not getting the air that they need. They're not getting the nutrients are not getting into it to produce hair growth. So that can be an issue. If you start having these issues, if you start seeing any of these signs, if you start seeing dryness or flakiness, if you have a lot of itching, if you see redness and irritation, if there is sensitivity to the scalp or increased oiliness, and if you start seeing hair loss, you know there is a problem. If you start seeing these signs, I'm going to go through them again: dryness or flakiness, itchiness, redness or irritation, sensitivity. If your scalp is overly sensitive, could be a problem there. Increased oiliness. We talked about having an oily scalp, or hair loss. If your hair is starting to drop, problems. This can be very uncomfortable. It can be very frustrating. And I'm going to go through some of the common culprits that will give you, that will help, not help, but will perpetuate an unhealthy scalp. Okay? Let me see if there's any comments. And please share the live because I know there's a lot of people. I mean, you think so? I know there's a lot of people that I talk to at the markets that tell me about itchiness. They tell me about scalp irritations. And they tell me this is leading to them having hair loss. So, of course, something's happening on the scalp that's preventing hair from growing, that's making hair thin, that's making hair not grow as it should be. Barbara, you said, I think so. I think so. I'm not sure to what comment. Oh, when I said you have a balanced scalp? Maybe that's what that was. Okay. So we spoke about product buildup. And excessive use of hair products can also cause product buildup. But if you have oily scalp, that can leave oil buildup on your scalp as well. So you can have buildup in both ways. If you feel like you're a person that uses a lot of hair products and you have buildup, you have to wash more frequently if you know you're one who uses a lot of products. Because what that happens is it clogs the pores of the scalp, and that can cause irritation because the air is not getting, the scalp is not breathing. There's product sitting on there. There could be excess oil sitting on there, and it will irritate the scalp. Then you have itchiness and then redness. So if you know that you use a lot of product, be cognizant of the fact that it could be sitting on your scalp. Okay, so you have to rinse out your hair more often than you would. If you find dandruff on the scalp, and dandruff is characterized by flaky skin on the scalp, that can be caused by some product buildup that sat there and dried up. And that can also be some irritation that the scalp is going through. Okay. Dermatitis. Dermatitis causes scalpy patches on the scalp. So it will be like, I don't even know how to explain how it looks like, but it's just like an extra layer of scalpiness in a patch on the scalp. So it could be within the hair follicles. It could be an area that there's no hair follicles. It could be like a loss of hair in that patch area. It depends on how bad it is. You would have to see a doctor for that. Psoriasis is another chronic condition that can affect your scalp. So if you're suffering from any of these, dermatitis, psoriasis, please pay attention to your scalp. please take a look at your scalp, make sure that everything's happening there. If you start feeling irritations or if you start feeling any itchiness, please check your doctor. You can have allergic reactions to products. You can have fungal infections. You can have head lice, and other skin conditions can affect your scalp. So if you're one who suffers from eczema or acne, that can affect the scalp as well. And some medications that you take can have side effects that can irritate your scalp. So if you find any of these, if you start feeling that you have some scalp irritation, some itchiness, some dryness, some flakiness, stuff that's not going away with a regular wash, or stuff that's not going away with, treating your scalp, then see a doctor, because it could be something more serious than you're thinking. Okay, so before it gets too late, take care of it, because then you're going to experience no hair loss, no growth, and it could escalate into other things. I want to give a few scalp care tips which could help with these issues, but I'm going to the chat to see if anybody has said anything, and nobody has. So again, please share the live. If you're looking at me for the first time, my name is Gail. Talking about scalp issues tonight because I know this is a big problem for us folk. I have been talking to people at markets, and this is one of the highlights of the markets, talking about scalp issues. So I just want to come on and give a little bit of what I know so I can help somebody who's listening to help mitigate the problem if they have scalp issues. Okay, so I'm going to the chat. Barbara says, Barbara, I'm going to show you a thing on the screen. It's taking a moment. Here we go. Yes, I used to have dry scalp for sure, but it's gotten so much better. Thank you. Oh, Rosemary, hair moisturizer and revive. Oh, thank you so much. I'm happy that this has helped you. Now, let's delve into this a little bit. Your scalp issues you had, do you know during what periods you had it? Like, was it when you had a lot of braids on, or was it when you became cognizant of the fact that you need to do more hair care and you started, keeping a regimen? And yes, I know the products help too, but I want to know what period that your scalp turned around. I know it was using the products too, but when did you have the dry scalp and when did you not? Were you doing any other things other than not having a regimen or having braids? Let me know in the chat. So if you're having these issues and let me go back. And you used to be someone to shampoo a lot, and then you stop shampooing and now you're co-washing, that can help the issue. If you're someone who uses a lot of product and you can actually feel the product sitting on your scalp, and you've decided to cut back on the amount that you use, to start, I would actually know my hair type. If you know your hair type, you're going to know how much product to use. And this knowing your hair type is a whole different topic, which maybe one day I will go into and break it down so people understand what their hair type is. But if let's just say you have your follicles are closed and you keep putting, product, it eventually will penetrate the follicles, but the excess product is going to sit on the scalp. So you need to know what your hair type is. You need to know your porosity to know how much product to use. And if you're using a lot of product, be sure to rinse out that product every so often from your scalp, because the buildup can cause your pores to be irritated and be just full of product sitting there. Give me 1 second. Okay. So we spoke about dandruff. Dermatitis and psoriasis are, I think, in a class by themselves. So I'm not sure using Heal and Go product or washing frequently, it might mitigate a little bit of this, but I would suggest that you see a medical doctor for that, or a dermatologist for that. If you're having allergic reactions to stuff, dyes, or hair products, stop using them. Just stop using them. See what you can get alternative products to use and just gauge it. Okay. Make sure that if you're using this, know what you have allergies to. Some people have allergies to coconut oil. Some of my customers have allergies to coconut oil. And there's certain products that I just will not even talk to them about because I just know they can't use it. There's some people that have allergies to rosemary. Okay. So different allergies can actually irritate your scalp, and you should know what those are so you can stop the you can stop. Give me 1 second. My daughter's texting because she needs a ride. Okay. Now, skin conditions. If you have eczema or acne and you see this is perpetuating and going into your scalp, um, you need to probably get some medication that will help that skin condition and see if it's okay to use it in your scalp. Again, you have to talk to a doctor. I'm just giving you the common culprits of you having scalp irritations or sensitivity that may affect your hair growth. I'm not a medical doctor. I'm just giving you pointers, that things you can look for. So if you know these are happening to you, you can take the right steps to do it. I want to go into the care tips, but I want. Oh, I thought Barbara had responded. I was waiting for Barbara's response. Good evening. Oh, good evening, Tina. Thank you for joining. Good evening, TD Joseph. Thank you for joining. I'm talking about scalp issues tonight. I'm giving tips on, well, I'm giving not tips, but I am sharing things that can lead to scalp issues, things that can lead to unhealthy scalp, and things that can actually eventually lead to hair loss. And it starts with having a healthy, clean scalp. So that's where we are tonight. We're talking about scalp. If you have any comments about that, please leave them in the chat. I know Barbara had some scalp issues that she was sharing with us, and she used to have scalp issues. She said during wearing extensive braids, it was terrible. So that can also dry out your hair. Your hairstyle can also dry out your hair. If you're someone to wear a lot of extensions, you have to be cognizant of the fact that your hair is going to dry out. Once your strands start drying out, it's going to affect the scalp, okay? Because the scalp is not breathing. If you want to wear wigs all the time, please give your scalp some time to breathe. I'm not saying don't wear it. I'm saying, give it some time to breathe because your scalp needs air. Your scalp needs to breathe. For the past week and a half, I had a wash and go. And if you saw my hair yesterday, I had this big afro. My scalp was not breathing. It was not. I actually had some itchiness this morning. I washed my hair and I braided. Now you can actually see my scalp, and my scalp is breathing now. So you have to know when and why. If you want to wear braids, go ahead, wear your braids. But remember that if you're putting it up all together, your scalp is not getting the air that it needs to breathe. If you're not oiling your scalp and you're not cleansing your scalp, you're actually perpetuating problems there because your scalp is going to have buildup, it's going to have itchiness, flakiness, and it's going to be very dry. I'm going to continue with Barbara. She said, I started to wear my braids for shorter times and focus on conditioning. So you have to be intentional. You have to be intentional. I'm going to put this up because I want our viewers to see things you can do to help your hair breathe and to, encourage hair growth. It starts with your scalp. Hair growth starts with your scalp. So, some scalp care tips. Gentle cleansing. So if you have irritations in your scalp, do not use harsh shampoos. If you need to shampoo, and I'm going to make a reference here. If you have dry scalp, do not shampoo. Co-wash. If you have oily scalp, you can shampoo because you need it, because you have buildup, but shampoo and co-wash alternately. So let's just say you shampoo this week, or you shampoo this regimen, co-wash the next regimen. Because shampoo is stripping your scalp of its natural oils. So if you already have a dry scalp and you're going to add shampoo to it, it's not going to help. It's going to make it worse. Aim for one other week and do more co-washing. Depending on your hair type and your activity level, you may need to shampoo. I'm not saying do not if you want to, but I'm saying alternately co-wash. Because if you're stripping and stripping and stripping, there's nothing coming back. If you shampoo this week and in the next week you co-wash, at least the co-wash is leaving some ingredients back. It's not stripping your hair of everything that you have. If you're shampooing, use a sulfate-free shampoo, something that won't damage your hair follicles. Okay? So gentle cleansing will help your scalp. Exfoliating. I don't know if you guys remember, but we did exfoliate, especially when you had dandruff. You took the comb, the small, and you scratch that scalp, right? This is a little harsh. You can use like a scalp brush. They're actually scalp scrubbers that you can use, and you can, do it on the scalp to remove the dead skin and product buildup and excess oils that may be sitting on your scalp. If you have sensitive scalp, a scalp scrubber will not work for you. But there's a little potion you can make, like a sugar and olive oil, or you can use like apple cider vinegar rinse that will cleanse your scalp, and it will actually help balance the pH of your scalp and will add shine to your hair. So there's other things you can do to take that dead skin cells, and all the product buildup off of your scalp. Conditioning is a good thing as well. So as I said, you can cleanse and co-wash, but also a leave-in conditioner is good for your strands. You can apply a little bit to your scalp, not too much because you don't want, again, product sitting there, but it will help if you gently massage it to stimulate your scalp. Using a hair oil. So you could do a conditioner, light conditioner, or you can do a hair oil. And at night, drops of that oil and massage the scalp to stimulate growth. Don't think you can put oil on your scalp if you have a dirty scalp, because it's not going to work. You got to make sure that scalp is cleansed first. Cleansing the scalp could be shampoo, could be co-wash, could be an apple cider vinegar rinse, could be a sugar and olive oil rinse. Cleanse the scalp first, make sure it's clean, make sure you don't have any irritations, make sure you don't have any redness or any of that sort before you actually start doing the other stuff like massaging and using conditioner and, using oils. Scalp massages can help with circulation, it can promote relaxation, and it can even encourage hair growth. Remember, a clean scalp promotes hair growth. Okay, I'm going to go back to the chat and see if there's anything else. Okay, so there was more. The rest of you that are online, can you tell me what scalp type do you have? Earlier, I mentioned 3 scalp types. You can have dry scalp, you can have oily scalp, or you can have a balanced scalp. Give me a 1 for dry scalp, a 2 for oily scalp, and a 3 for balanced scalp. You can put this in the comments. Oh, Barbara, I see your question. I'm going to put it up here because I'm going to answer it. Barbara asked, does hair oils work better at night or during the day? Does it matter? It does matter because during the day you're active and there will be some bouts of sweat in your hair glands, in your hair, in your scalp. I always recommend you do it at night as a nighttime routine, put some hair oils, massage, put a hair bonnet, and go to bed, I think it works better then because you're not as active. There's not secretions of fluids on your scalp. It's only the oil. So I think during the night works better. You can do it during the day as well. But if you're asking which will work better, at nighttime will. Okay, I'm looking for those numbers in the chat. 1 for dry scalp, 2 for oily scalp, and 3 for balanced scalp. Put those numbers in the chat. And if you're having any scalp issues, or if you know of anyone doing that, having scalp issues, please share the live. So I'm waiting for those numbers: 1 for dry scalp, 2 for oily scalp, and 3 for balanced scalp. Whilst I'm waiting, I'm going to share the live on my pages as well. I'm coming back to the chat in a bit. Okay. I don't see any numbers in there. I guess you guys don't know what scalp type you have. If your scalp is very dry, if there's always itchiness, if there's always irritations, then you have a dry scalp. If you feel like there's always, your scalp is always wet, there's always some oil or some remnants of something on your scalp, and you know it's not product, then you have an oily scalp. And if your scalp is normal, like you think it's normal, you don't have any irritations, you don't have any dryness, then you have a balanced scalp. Okay, so these are the 3. Let me know which one you think you have. I think I have a balanced scalp. I know when I have a dry scalp, and your scalp can go from dry to oily and balanced. You know, it can interchange. It's not just like your hair types. On your head of hair, you can have different hair types. So same with your scalp type. Like Barbara said, when she wore her braids very often, all the time, or longer than that she should, she had dry scalp. And then she started being cognizant of the fact that she has to be intentional about her hair care. And then that changed to her having a balanced scalp. So now she does not have the dryness that she used to have. So the reason why I'm sharing these tips for you is people with dry scalp, yes, there are health conditions that can make that happen, but there's also practices that we do that make that happen. And if we just tweak what we do just a little bit, we can have better results than we're having now. So again, if you want me to put this in here, oily scalp. No, I can't even spell. Scalp, dry scalp, and balanced scalp. These are the 3 types. And if you feel like either of those are you, you can if you have any questions about that, let me know and we can talk about it, because as I said, I know scalp issues is something that's recurring a lot among our people. And, you know, the weather does not help either. The summer heat will actually help better than the winter dry months. So you have to be really, really aware of the issues that you're having for your scalp and find ways to help it. So, things they should look for if you're having scalp issues. If you feel like your hair is not growing anymore, your scalp is always itchy. When you look at it, there's flakiness, there's dryness. Try, and you've tried washing and you've tried co-washing and nothing's happening, then it's time to see a doctor. If you can use different products that will help your scalp and you see that there's a difference happening, then that's, that's what I want for you. The change from dryness to balance, or the change from too oily to balance. You can change from too oily to balance. It depends on if you're using a lot of product. And I am going to come back maybe in the next 2 weeks, and I'm going to talk about hair types and porosity, because I feel like in order to know how much product to use on your hair, you need to know what your hair types are, what your porosity is, and that will help you not have too much product buildup, and you will know what right products to use for your hair. So before I continue, I'm going to show you Barbara talked about it before, the revitalizing scalp treatment. We're doing scalp, so I'm only going to show this product, the revitalizing scalp treatment. And this is a hair oil, and it's made of 13 different oils, and it is really, really good for your hair, for your scalp. So some of the oils in there are peppermint, and I'm going to talk about these because these are the ones that really bring the nutrients down to your hair follicles. Peppermint, lavender, rosemary, and lemongrass. These are really, really essential in giving you what you need for your scalp, for your hair to grow. Now, remember, as I said, I'm going to say it again, do not use this if you have a dirty scalp. It will not work. Your scalp has to be clean and clear and free of other product or oils or anything for this to work. Okay? So it has rosemary, lavender, it has lemongrass, it has patchouli, it has jojoba. Let's see if I read all the ingredients to you. Sweet almond oil, castor oil, olive oil, avocado oil, rosemary, tea tree, cedarwood, lavender, peppermint, lemongrass, and vitamin E. Okay, these are the oils in there in this bottle. I call it a bottle of goodness. There's a dropper that you can drop in your hair at night, and you can put a few drops, massage the scalp with the fingertips, not your nail, no scratching, but use the fingertips and massage the scalp at night. Put on your hair bonnet and go to bed. This should help revitalize your scalp, because that's what it is, revitalizing scalp treatment. And it should help if you are suffering from itchiness. It does help with itchiness. If your itchiness is so severe that you need to see a doctor, please see a doctor, okay? Please see a doctor if your itchiness is very severe. If not, this will help your scalp. Okay, yes. So swimming will, because there's chlorine in the swimming pool. Okay, remember that there's chemicals in there in the pool. And yes, that will go into your scalp, and it can cause dryness, it can cause itchiness. So be cognizant of that. So yeah, be aware that and that's not only, so I know sometimes when we go to the swimming pool or the sea, the ocean, we come home and we rinse off. You have to rinse off your scalp as well. The same way you feel like your skin will be irritated with this, think of your scalp as an extension of that skin. And then you need to cleanse it as well. Okay, so yeah, if you go swimming a lot, the chlorine will affect you. There's other chemicals in the pool. It's not only chlorine. There's a lot of other chemicals in there. So rinse off thoroughly, especially your hair strands and your scalp, because these chemicals can give you dry scalp, give you irritations as well. Okay. I see there's people online. Can you tell me your scalp, your dry scalp, oily scalp, balanced scalp? If you don't know, say you don't know. But let's talk about scalp issues because I know that some people just don't like to talk about it because it's work, and they have to put the extra effort in to do it. But in the end, it's worth it. It's worth it. Okay. So there's nothing else that Barbara, you said your scalp. So, yeah, here's a question I want to ask. You said you did a lot of swimming and chlorine. What did you do to what did you do after coming from the swimming pool? You said your scalp did not like it at all. So what did you do for your scalp? I'm assuming that you rinsed off and you washed out your hair, but I just want you to put it in the chat. That way, when other people come view the chat, they have an idea of what to do. I want this to be learning for everybody and not just, that's why I'm asking you to comment and, tell us what you do. So I'm just going to recap the signs of an unhealthy scalp. If you see any of these and if they're persisting after washing or cleansing your scalp, it means that your scalp is unhealthy and you may need extra help. Dryness or flakiness, if this is excessive, you got to see a doctor. Itchiness, if you're using oils that you think might help you and it's not stopping, see a doctor. It could be something more. Redness or irritation, you can actually see if your scalp is red or not. And if it's very irritated, you got to find out what things you're allergic to that can be causing that. As I said, some of the things that I find my customers talk about when they're saying they have allergies would be rosemary. There's a high allergic rate of rosemary. Coconut oil is another one. Some people have shea butter issues that they can't use anything that has shea butter in it. So figure out what you have allergies to and stay away from that because you want your scalp to always be balanced. You always want to have a balanced scalp. It doesn't have to be too dry and it doesn't have to be too oily. You want it balanced so you can have hair growth. If you feel like your scalp is oversensitive, like when you touch it, it burns, or if you can't wear any hair wraps or hair clips or anything like that, if you feel like you have excessive sensitivity, then you know something's wrong. Increased oiliness, so we spoke about that, or increased oiliness could be product buildup as well. So you have to make the differentiation as to if you're actually using too much product and it's sitting on your scalp, or if you actually truly have oily scalp. Then you will know how much washing you need to do and the steps you need to take to decrease the oiliness that you have. And if you have hair loss, that means it has gone past things that you probably can do to stop it. So you have to be very, very careful and you have to be very intentional about knowing what's happening to yourself, to your body, to your skin, to your scalp. Remember, the scalp is an extension of your skin. Okay? If it has gone into hair loss, then you need to see a dermatologist. You need to see somebody that has the medical experience to help you. Because hair loss will be actually everything would have happened before hair loss starts. You would have had dryness, you would have itchiness, you'd have irritation, and then it would become hair loss. A few things you can do if you're in the early stages of dryness and flakiness. You can do gentle cleansing. So you can shampoo, not overdoing the shampooing because shampoo strips your scalp of its natural oils. So you should alternate co-washing and shampooing. Exfoliate. So you can get a scalp scrub or you can make a rinse with an apple cider vinegar rinse and wash out your scalp. So you would put the rinse in and massage the scalp to take out whatever is on there and rinse thoroughly when you're done. Conditioning is recommended, but I would say not really conditioner. Maybe use a hair oil. Conditioner you can use, but remember excess of it is going to sit on your scalp, and then you're going to have another issue of product buildup. So I would say use an oil. Oils actually penetrate the scalp better than something creamy or like a conditioner or something buttery like a hair butter. So I would say use oils and massage your scalp regularly. Okay, regularly, especially if you're having irritations and especially if you're having flakiness and itchiness. Massage the scalp. It will help bring nutrients to the scalp and it will help ease those issues that you're having. Drinking a lot of water. I don't think I mentioned that tonight, but drinking a lot of water and eating a balanced diet can help with your scalp issues. Some foods may affect your scalp. Know what they are and take them off your diet. If you know there's some foods that will improve your scalp health, then go ahead and eat more of those. Drink a lot of water. That is very, very important. Stress management. Stress management can actually contribute to a healthy scalp. Some people, if they're very stressed, that's the first thing that happens. You know, some people get stressed and they put on weight, or some people are stressed and they lose weight. Some people get stressed and it talks in their scalp. Whatever is happening in their scalp is a direct effect of their stress. So if you're one of those people, manage your stress. Do things that can help you manage stress so you don't have the issues of having an irritable scalp. I'm back to the chat. Let me know if you have any questions about anything I said. Oh, I got some comments here. I rinse and use only conditioner. Okay, okay. That will actually bring back the oils to your hair and it will help you. Okay, good. TD Joseph said she thinks she has a balanced scalp, not having any issues. Um, Tina said she needs to purchase the revitalizing oil with all the ingredients you mentioned. Yes, it comes in two sizes. I have this one, which is the 4 ounce with a dropper. And then I have a 2 ounce bottle without a dropper though. Okay, so this you'd actually have to pour and put on your scalp. This is a fan favorite. A lot of people like it for the dropper because you can just drop it on your scalp. So they're available on the website when you're ready. Okay, so Barbara said she rinsed her hair. She used only conditioner on her hair and then she oiled her scalp. So if you go to the pool, remember that the chlorine and all the other chemicals in that pool are going to affect your scalp. They're going to affect your hair strands. They're going to dry out your scalp. If you already have a dry scalp, you really need to rinse out and take precaution. Do a conditioner when you're done, or oil your scalp, or both, because you need to bring back all the nutrients that your hair lost in that pool. Um, if you know you're somebody with dry scalp and you're going to the pool, wear a cap. Okay, so your scalp does not get wet. Your scalp is a little protected by that. So Tina, I know you want to buy the revitalizing scalp treatment, but do you know what kind of scalp you have? Do you have dry scalp, oily scalp, or you have a balanced scalp? We want to know. We want to know. We need to keep our scalp always nourished, because if not, it's really going to dry out and give us issues. We have to have enough water in our bodies. We have to have enough oils on our scalps. We have to have cleansing when we feel like, you know, and you don't have to wait until you have an itchy scalp to cleanse your scalp. If you're doing a regimen every 2 weeks, which is what you're supposed to do with natural hair, excuse me, you do a regimen every 2 weeks, at that 2 week mark, your hair should start speaking to you. My hair does. My hair does. My hair does. And my hair spoke to me today. At that 2 week mark, I did wash and goes for the last 2 weeks, and my hair was not having it today. It was not. Even if I wanted to refresh, the itchiness that I had on my scalp, um, my hair was starting to be limb. Like my curls were not, the curls in the front were really nice and defined, but the rest of it, the back, was really hard and harsh, and it was not responding at all. So even if I wanted to do something today, it wasn't having it. So you should, if you're really doing a regimen and you're sticking to that regimen every 2 weeks, at that mark, you will know when it's time to wash your hair. You won't have to think twice. You just know it's time. So if you're suffering from dry scalp, you need to maybe increase, not increase, but shorten the space of time that you do a regimen. So if you're usually doing a regimen every 2 weeks, you have to maybe do something every week, maybe co-wash every week, and treat your scalp until your scalp gets to where it needs to be, until it gets to a balanced scalp. That is where you want to be, at a balanced scalp. So if you feel like you have dry scalp, maybe you don't need a 2 week mark. You probably need a 1 week mark. And I'm not saying shampoo every week. I'm saying co-wash. I'm saying cleanse. You can use a mask. You can use a vinegar rinse and just clean the scalp. But once you do that, you have to replenish by actually putting an oil on your scalp and putting a conditioner on your strands. Okay, that will replenish the nutrients lost from that vinegar rinse or whatever you did to clean the scalp. And you need to do that every week until your scalp gets to balance. I think my comments are coming very slow. So I just have to scroll up and scroll down, and then I see all the comments. Okay. Hi, Carlene. Thank you for joining. Thank you for joining. I have not been keeping up with my hair scalp regimen. It's getting too much and unmanageable for me. However, I just oiled my scalp today with biotin oil. Okay. Why is it unmanageable now? I thought you had fun doing your hair. Is it too long now? Is that why it's unmanageable? Let me know. I haven't checked up on you and your hair in a long time because I thought everything was peachy with you. But let me know. While to wait for Carlene. I'm just going to over points that I discussed earlier about a healthy scalp. Healthy scalp means healthy environment for hair growth. When you have a balanced scalp, it produces its own oils to keep your hair hydrated. And that means you have a healthy scalp. A balanced scalp equals a healthy scalp. And if you have an unhealthy scalp, that can lead to dryness, flakiness, and eventually hair loss. If you're getting into the hair loss stage, you need to see a doctor, okay? Because there could be a variety of things happening there. Other things that can have your scalp in an unhealthy state could be dermatitis, could be psoriasis. Dermatitis is a condition that causes scalpy patches on the scalp, and psoriasis is an autoimmune condition, and that can have an effect on the scalp. So it can actually give you patches as well, or you can suffer hair loss from that. Fungal infections are another thing. So like ringworms and stuff like that can affect the scalp. This is not too common with people I speak to, but it is an issue, okay? Head lice, tiny parasites, and that can cause intense itching. Again, wash, 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 rinse, 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 mask, co-wash, shampoo a little bit, what you got to do to get it under control, do that. But remember, if you shampoo a lot, you're going to have drier scalp. You need to condition more. Conditioning more may mean a product buildup. So that's why I'm asking everybody to switch towards co-washing, because it's a healthier choice to co-wash than to shampoo. Okay, let's see if there's any more comments. Colleen, I think I asked you a question. I was asking you why your hair is not manageable anymore. I don't know if you answered me. I don't see your comments yet, but oh, here it is. Okay, it's too long, and because I do not take care of it like when it was shorter, it is thick, it is too hot for extensions. I don't keep the two-strand twist long, and I have no idea what to do with it. When you say you don't keep them long, how long you keep them? Mine, this is probably gonna last a whole month. And this is like a whole other curl talk episode about how to keep your twist lasting longer than it should. So this is gonna last very long. Why does yours not last long? Or why don't you keep it long? So let me get a drink of water. I did this today, and what I do to make mine last longer is a week max. Ooh, no wonder you feel like you're overwhelmed with your hair. Nah, you need to go longer than a week with your two-strand twist. If it's your natural hair that you two-strand twist, you can keep it as long as you want. It's your natural hair. There's no external hair making your hair drier, right? If you're doing extensions, 6 weeks is your max. Anything over that, you're going to start having dryness. You can stretch it to 8 weeks, but not more. Dryness, and you're going to have itchiness, and your hair is going to start breaking. Try to not do extensions more than 6 weeks. I know that's not for you, Colleen, but I was just making a point as to now that you have your own natural hair with your two-strand twist, you can leave your twist a little longer. How I do that? I do this today. I may occasionally put some revitalizing scalp treatment on my scalp, right? Maybe sometime next week I'll do that. At my 2-week mark, I leave my hair as is. I put my co-wash, the strands of my hair as is, and I massage my scalp. I wash it, co-wash it. And what I do is I put all my hair up in a ponytail, and I pull them out one by one, and I retwist it to refresh my twist. So I don't feel so overwhelmed that I have to retwist my whole head of hair every 2 weeks. Okay. So I wash my hair with the twist in it. Pretend I had locks, right? That's what I would do, right? I wouldn't unlock my hair to wash it. I'd wash it with my locks in it. So pretend you have locks. Co-wash your hair with the as it is, and then retwist it. That is a hack that I do, and it has worked for me. So let me see. The whole of June, maybe more, maybe the whole of May, June, I had twist in my hair. And that the same twist lasted for 2 months because I did what I told you. Every 2 weeks, I would wash my hair and just retwist it. Okay. And that can make your hair twist last longer. Colleen, I hope that helps you with your overwhelming hair situation. I hope it makes it more manageable for you if you heard what I just said. So you can keep your twist longer and, just make sure your scalp is clean. That is the thing. So every 2 weeks, go in there and wet it and massage and cleanse. And then once your scalp is clean, you can retwist. Okay. Let me see if I missed any other comments. Okay. Oh, Tina said her scalp is maybe balanced. I often get itchy. If you get itchy scalp, Tina, what do you do? Do you wash and it's over, or is it persistent? Oh, we have 5 minutes left. We have 5 minutes left, guys. Well, I'll just recap. Remember that your scalp is an extension of your skin. The same way you cleanse your skin, you should cleanse your scalp. You may not do it every day, cleansing of the scalp, but you should do it often enough that your hair is used to a regimen. Okay? Once your hair is used to that regimen, you should be able to, you know, you will know when it's time to do it again. A regimen is something you do to your hair that it likes, and you keep being consistent with that. So if you have a wash cycle every 2 weeks and then you condition, that is your regimen. If you do it every week, like I say, if you have dry scalp, you may need to do it every week. Do not shampoo every week though. Co-wash. Co-wash is washing with a conditioner. It works. That's what I did with my hair today. And you will see the results of your scalp. If you have any questions at all regarding what I spoke about tonight or anything else, please leave them in the chat, or you know how to reach me. Send me a message. You can reach me at support@healinggo.com. You can WhatsApp me. You can leave me a Facebook message, or you can come right under this chat and leave your comments. And I will come back and respond to every one of you. So thank you for joining me tonight. I will try and keep the twist longer. I've never co-washed. You have never co-washed? Carlene, we've spoken about this. Thank you, TD Joseph. Thank you for joining. I'm happy, and I hope this can help somebody that has, questions about their scalp. Okay, Carlene, we got to go back to this co-wash thing that you've never co-washed. Last week, last week Kathy was with me. So the week before, I did a segment on co-washing. Please go back and listen to it and let me know why you haven't co-washed, because this is like the best thing. This is like the best thing. I'll wait till you listen to it, and then you will come back with your comments. Thank you, Barbara. Thank you, Tina. Tina said itches especially at night, so it feels good when I scratch it. I normally wash it too. Okay. All right. So if it's not totally irritating to you and you have control over it, that's great. Please get the scalp. You can get the 2 ounce if you want to try it, but you need something to scratching it. Maybe does not give it a band-aid, but it doesn't help the problem. So maybe you need to actually massage it instead. Use an oil and massage it instead of just scratching it, and that will probably help it. You're welcome. You're welcome, Barbara. You're welcome, TD Joseph. It's my pleasure to come here and share with you hair care tips. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below. And I will see you guys next week. I'm going to be here again. We're going to be talking with Kathy Robinson. She's going to join us next week. And we'll probably be talking. We do not know what we're talking about yet, but it will be something informative and something I know you'd want to hear. So join us again next week. If you have not, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's at My Heal and Go. This episode is also carried live on YouTube. So if you don't like Facebook, or you've missed it on Facebook and you don't want to go back on Facebook just to watch it, you can go to YouTube and all the episodes are there. Okay, those with Kathy and those with me by myself. Thank you for joining and have a wonderful evening. It's 8:58. We have 2 more minutes if anybody has questions. So Carlene, your assignment tonight is to go and look at 2 weeks from, I think, September 2nd. I'm saying September. August 2nd, August 1st. Go back to August 1st and listen to the co-wash episode. And then let's talk about co-washing, because you should be co-washing. You should be co-washing. All right. So I'm going to help you not be overwhelmed by your long hair. You're going to love it, and you're going to do things with it, and you're going to be happy with it. Okay. We're going to fix that. Thank you for joining, guys. If you have not followed me on My Heal and Go on Facebook and YouTube. I will talk to you guys next week. Have a wonderful evening and have a wonderful weekend ahead. Bye for now.